Now that we've been successful finding and harvesting some chaga, it's time for the fun part of the experiment, which is making the hot chocolate. You're going to need a couple of things for your cook. First is a mallet to break up the chaga into smaller, more usable chunks. You also need a strainer or a sieve. This is to fish out the larger chunks of chaga. You also need something to bring water to a boil. Now, a pot is just fine. I'm using a tea kettle here today. And finally, a secondary vessel that we can use to transfer the steeped chaga tea into once we're done. For those of you who have instant mix at home, this is a really easy way to make hot chocolate. Or for the more adventurous, we can use cocoa powder. I'm going to show you how to create chaga hot chocolate from scratch. So we have the chaga here that we just harvested, but I'm going to be using some already dried chaga that I harvested last year because it's a lot easier to work with. Now don't worry, if you don't have any dried chaga, you can go ahead and use the fresh chaga. It doesn't really make a difference. Again, just a lot easier to use dried. So what we'll do is we'll take this piece of chaga and we'll place it underneath a cloth. That's just to make sure that it doesn't go everywhere when we break it apart. But go ahead and give it a couple of smacks. And what you're left with is some broken up chunks of chaga. Now these are fine to just put directly into the water. So a couple of fun facts about chaga while we're waiting for our tea to boil. Chaga has a really high concentration of melanin. Now melanin is the stuff in your skin that gives it its complexion and blocks UV light. No wonder they've been using it in beauty care products for hundreds of years. Another fun fact is that chaga has super high concentrations of antioxidants. It has 1,200 times more antioxidants than blueberries, 80 times more than acai berries, and 45 times more than pomegranate. No wonder it's considered a superfood, and it's right here in our backyard. Finally, chaga has high concentrations of betulinic acid. This acid creates apoptosis in cancerous cells, and scientists have been using it in complement to other treatments for cancer. Apoptosis is the process of washing out cells and regenerating new ones. It's no wonder scientists are starting to experiment in complement to other types of cancer treatment. So let's go ahead and wait for this tea to boil, and then we'll get back to building our chaga hot chocolate. Our chaga tea has had time to steep and boil. So we're going to go ahead and shut it off. Some folks may want to give it a couple of minutes just to cool off, but I'm going to go ahead and transfer it right now. We're going to use our strainer and actually pour the water, and we can see that a lot of the chunks are getting caught up in the strainer until we have our chaga tea. Now this is wonderful just by itself. You can add a little bit of maple syrup to this to sweeten it up, and you've got a great afternoon beverage. But we're going to go ahead and make our hot chocolate now. So grab a couple of cups. First we'll take out one of our instant mixes, and this is a really easy way to do it. We'll simply add to the cup. Okay. And now we'll pour in our tea, and that will easily make a nice full cup of hot chocolate. Go ahead and give it a little bit of a stir. You can always add 2 packets if you prefer it a little bit thicker. Now this is very hot. And that is brilliant, just like that. For you more adventuresome folk, we're going to go ahead and make chaga hot chocolate from scratch here, and you can use the water that's already here. So I'm going to add several scoops of chocolate. Okay. Then I'm going to add our maple syrup. Give it that sweetness, and don't be shy with that. And again, you can sweeten it to your own liking. And go ahead and add some milk. Now I prefer almond milk, but regular milk is great, especially the high fat content will give you that really classic hot chocolate taste. So go ahead and add about a cup there. And there we go. That looks pretty terrific. Grab a spoon and go ahead and stir that all up. Okay, give it a good stir. And now, for the best part is the taste. Great, and that looks nice and dark and rich. Well, thanks so much for joining me on this adventure. It's been a blast. Look for more content coming out really soon from Polar Productions, and remember to like down below. Keep in mind that the best things are just outside your front door, so go and find them.